You know, my granddaddy told me one time, say excuses come out of trash cans. And, you know, I didn't fully understand what he was saying at the time. But, you know, in many instances, it's true. For example, a lot of times people who are unemployed or underemployed say, well, I can't find a job, or I can't find a better job. Well, I hate to tell you that in today's society and with this organization that we're going to interview today or talk to today with these three phenomenal young guys that we're going to talk to today, I mean, it's probably gonna have the feelings that if you say you can't get a job or you can't position yourself to get a better job, or if you can't get trained for a job, somebody might tell you that excuse is coming out of a trash can because there are resources that are available, that all kinds of resources, entities and institutions, programs that can help people get gainfully employed, gainfully trained, and what have you. And the resources are available and they are out there. So it's no excuse, regardless of the situation, regardless of the education, for one not to be able to enter the employment field, the employment society, the workforce society, if in fact you just, you know, take the initiative to do a couple of things. But that good news is that there's a resource available, there's an entity available, there's an organization available, there are individuals available, all just chomping at the bits to uplift the employment situation in our community. And when I say our community, we're talking about the broad community because there are several counties involved. So what I'd like to do is to just present these three gentlemen. I'll let start with Mr. Stilling, and then he could just handle who's going to introduce himself next. I know all of them, particularly Steve Williams. I want to give a real shout out to Steve Williams. I've known him since he was a baby. No, I'm just kidding. When he was a banker, and he's done so many important, still is a banker, and served on boards and done so many important things in the community. I just want to give him a shout out because of our long-term relationship. So, Darrell, you can just go ahead and introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your responsibility. And I told him that's a resource. I didn't tell him what the resource was, is, so you could tell him that too. So at this time, I present to some and introduce to others, Mr. Darrell Stillings.
Good afternoon, sir. I appreciate the kind introduction. My name is Darrell Stillings. I'm the Executive Director of WorkSource Middle Georgia, the Middle Georgia Consortium. As you know, the Middle Georgia Consortium has been around for oodles of years. You know, I couldn't tell you when it started, but it's way before my time. I'm just lucky have the opportunity to serve the community of Middle Georgia. You know, we represent 11 counties right here in Middle Georgia, Region 6 of the workforce map. And, you know, we have opportunities when it comes to employment and training services. You know, obviously, you know, if someone needs employment, we have a service that's geared just to giving people jobs, giving opportunity to find a job. We'll work with them and to place them in a job. And if the jobs, they need some more training or some tooling, and they need some education, we'll provide the training, the education that we could place them in a job. So it depends on what the person needs, and you know, we'll assess each person individually, and based on the needs that the person have, we'll work with them and get them employment. So that's basically what we do at the Middle Georgia Consortium. You know, I'm blessed to work with Steve Williams because obviously I haven't been nowhere that we went together that the people didn't know who Steve Williams
Yes, sir.
was. So we know that he's been a pioneer of workforce development for many, many years. And, you know, this organization is blessed just to have him as part of our organization. And we also have Mr. Allen, who is our project manager right now. And he goes out to the business to find out what the business needs so we can make sure that we provide those jobs, good jobs, quality jobs for individuals who need employment. Mr. Williams.
Well, it's great to see you again, Alex, and it's been a long time since I've been on your show. So it's great to talk about something else that's near and dear to my heart. I've served with this organization, served on this board for over 20 years. And so now I'm chairing it again, just to help and give back like I've always done. But the great thing about this organization, I think, is that we're really down, I'm gonna call it down in the trenches for the folks who really need our help with that training. There are jobs galore out there, and they're if a person really wants to work, we can find them a job in just about any industry. But now we focus on certain industries, but there's jobs out there for anyone that really wants to work and take care of their family, and good paying jobs, not just a job where it's minimum wage. In fact, you can find a job well above minimum wage by partnering with us because they are out there and they are available. But guess what? There's a caveat to that. The caveat is you have to want to work. They're just not going to hire you to sit in a seat. You have to work. And if you want to work, these companies will compensate you and provide benefits for you and your family.
That is so outstanding, you know, and just like I told you, excuses come out of the trash cans. If somebody's out there that I'm serious about that,
Yes.
you know, because it becomes kind of frustrating to see the work environment and the job environment like it is now. There was a time, there have been times when it was difficult, you know, to get a job or to get training or get promoted. That's not true anymore. So I continually emphasize, along with you guys, you know, to the community and to the mamas who got boys at home talking about they can't find no job, you know, and to the aunties who got nephews who talking about, auntie, can I get $10 for some gas so I can go and try to find? No. I want auntie to give them. What's your number out there again, Darrell?
You can call us at 478-953-4771 anytime.
Now that's what I want auntie to do.
Please
Yes.
call us.
Because and you know it sounds funny, but I'm serious.
Yes.
Well,
I'm
Mr.
very
Allen,
serious.
Mr. Allen, tell them about the business service team, how we're coordinating efforts to make sure that we can deliver these high quality jobs.
Yes, sir. I'd be glad to. So good afternoon, Mr. Habersham, and
Hey.
thanks again for having us on the show. Right now, we have a regional business services team that is a collaboration between WorkSource Middle Georgia, the Technical College System of Georgia, and our other one-stop partners like Voc Rehab, Job Corps. So we have a whole team of people throughout the region with different resources that approach businesses and find out what their needs are. And then we really want to upskill our workforce because there's a skills mismatch. The skills that the jobs that they have available require, our local citizenry does not have those skills. So a lot of times we want to refer them to training at the local colleges so they can get those skills and credentials and licenses to make them a viable candidate. And a lot of people are intimidated by school, but there's on-the-job training, there's internships. So there's really ways to plug in at the ground level and work your way up if the person's motivated and really wants to work.
Well, that is very outstanding. Now let's talk about that relationship. Let's look at it from a two-tiered perspective, you know, and maybe come up with a profile for a person, you know, who's looking for a job, and then a person in business. For example, I've got a business, you know, so a small business, and there may be other businesses out there that will be wondering, well, how can I not only you know, help to uplift the economy by hiring somebody or putting someone in my organization that can be trained, but what would be the scenario? What would be the requirements on my part? Are there any supplemental funding, you know, for these? So let's look at it from the business perspective first, as it relates to what the profile of a business or what needs to happen. There business size requirement or just what have you, you know, because we want to, I publish the Black Pages, of course. And then I work with over 1,500 businesses throughout Central Georgia. So we want to impart that information, not only to have a resource for your people to come to, but also find out how that could assist these businesses in what they are trying to do from an entrepreneurial perspective.
So when it comes to businesses, you know, obviously, the business have to have a business license. You got to be up on all your taxes, just the basic qualification for a business. And depending on the size of the business and how many people they employ, kind of determines what kind of benefit that they can get from our program. Just for example, if a business is willing to hire one of the people that we have in our program that's existing, that we put through training, and let's say they want to do on-the-job training, depending on the size of that business, we can, the onboarding process, if they hire the person and they have to, just say it takes 6 months to train the person to be proficient at the job. during that first 6 months while they're training the person, we can offset the employee salary by 50%. So that's a good thing for a business that they can kind of, you know, not have to pay a full wage to the employee when they're training them to do the job. So that's one of the benefits. Let's say a business is like a manufacturing company, and the manufacturing company has some new equipment, and they need to upskill their workers so they can, you know, upskill a cohort of employees to start on new equipment, and then they can backfill employees later, you know, entry-level employees. So during that upskill training, we'll pay for this training for that company to upskill its workers. So that's another benefit that a business can get from our program. So those are two unique, to me, significantly monetary benefits that any business can get from our program.
Yeah, that's very, very outstanding. And we'll talk about the process of what it takes, you know, to see if you qualify and what have you. So, Steve, you know, you got a lot of young folk, you got a lot of people out there who just don't quite, you know, I mean, it's just kind of shameful that the poverty rate is what it is, you know, that we're having the kind of decadence and the, you know, and all of these things tie in from an economic perspective. Poverty, crime, sickness, all of these negative factors, most of them in a way, are somewhat tied, you know, to economics, you know, so kind of where is the consortium as it relates to outreach and what can the community do, you know, to kind of let the people know and get these jobs filled, you know, and get these people, you know, but besides telling Auntie, you got to tell her, Auntie will get. Besides doing that, what can we do as a community, you know, to just kind of uplift what you all are doing?
Well, you know, right now when you think about it, and you hit the nail on the head. You know, we have crime out there. We have kids that are dropped out of school. We have kids that are getting into things that they shouldn't be getting into, and they're really reaching out. They're acting out because they're looking for someone to care. They're looking for guidance, and sometimes these programs they don't know where to come to, and we need the community to let them know that, hey, there's a way that you can basically learn a skill, learn a trade through the technical college. I've served on that board for many years, and I know what we do in that area. Also serving on this board with workforce, they all come hand in hand. We have to educate them. That's number one. Number two, we have to be able to provide those skills and find something that they like to do. Right now in our economy, you know, if you can't make a job doing something, and I'm talking about legal business, Alex. If you can't make a job doing something, because there are a lot of gigs out there right now where people are basically doing, and they make pretty good with DoorDash. Those are not careers. Those are things that just make income. We're talking about a career. We're talking about something that you can build on from year to year and move up. And those are the type of jobs we want to see these young folks basically get into. It's like I say, it's plentiful, but it's going to take work as well. You have more right now expansion economically in our Middle Georgia area with all of these manufacturers and all these distribution companies that are coming to the area. And they are paying $20, $25 an hour. Yes, you're going to work 10 hours a day, but you know what? It may be 4 days a week, or maybe 5 days a week, but you're making enough to take care of your family and provide a good living for yourself. And I think that's the main thing. That's what we're trying to get them to, is that, you know, you can be a productive citizen, you can pay taxes, you can live in a nice area, and you can do those things that complement your community instead of things that tear it down.
Well, the thing that I want to say, and then we'll try to get this interview all over, because as citizens, you use the word citizen, but as citizens, it's our responsibility to try to help the entire community.
Yes.
You know, because I'm doing well, that doesn't mean I don't have a responsibility for the guy on the street, on the block.
That's
to
right.
try to help him do better. So what I would like to do is to encourage the community to let people know about the Middle Georgia Consortium.
Yes.
The workforce organization. And then, I mean, a rising tide raises the whole ship.
Yes. That's right.
Everybody benefits. You know, the more the employment is, the more people that are employed, the less taxes we have to pay, the more industries that want to come here, the more entertainment. You know, we could fill up the amphitheater more. You know, so it's an important thing. You all are serving a very, very important function in our community. But what determines, you know, its meaningfulness is people taking advantage of it.
Yes.
And you all can't do it by yourself. I'm gonna hurry up and quick, or Darrell got something to say. I see him.
No, I was gonna say there's plenty of access points, because that's one thing, accessibility to the services, right? And I think that's one of the things that I failed to mention. We partner with Central Georgia Technical College, so every Central Georgia Technical College in our region, you can go to that college and you can access our services. So that's one entry point. Every Department of Labor in this region, which is in Millersville, Macon, and here in Houston County, you can go to any of those spots and access our service. So those are our access points. Or you come right to our office right here on Oseguin Boulevard and access our service. So, you can go on our website at middlegaworks.com and you can access our service. You can fill out the application right there on the website for services.
That's outstanding. That's important because we want to make the pathway easy,
Yes.
for them to do it. And then, and let's not forget, we gave the website, but let's not forget to give a phone number because our excuses come out of trash cans, y'all.
Exactly.
So, so we don't want anybody to have it. And I'm serious about that because it's important. Everybody ought to want to be. I'm an old school teacher, No, let me say ex-school teachers. I don't like to call.
You see them.
But
Experienced school teacher.
yeah, that I like that. It starts with EX, but that's what we need to do. So we want to make sure that we provide the information, to the consuming public that it's jobs out there. Get people off the street, stop people from
Yes.
joining gangs.
Yes.
There'd be, not as many folk would be diabetic because they could get better food, I mean, just the advantages are unlimited. So Paul, kind of walk a business through what needs to be done, if in fact they are interested in, they might have a position, they want to do a little training, but by the same token, while they are training, that person could be a benefit to the business. So let's kind of walk somebody through that.
Yes, sir. So businesses can access our services similar to job seekers. They can visit our website at middlegaworks.com and put a request. And what will happen is myself or Mr. Howard Scott, our business services representative, will come out to the business and do a needs assessment. We'll sit down with you. We'll look at your available jobs that you have, look at the job descriptions, and we have a whole pool and a pipeline of talent already there. But if there's a specific niche that you can't fill or your job is unique and not many people will just off the street know how to do it, then we could do a customized on-the-job training, what Mr. Stillings mentioned before. Another thing that we serve businesses, they can post their positions on WorkSourceGAportal.com, where there's thousands and thousands of applicants who have filed for unemployment insurance. And that's the way that the Labor Department and the Technical College System of Georgia matches the job seekers with available jobs. And then lastly, we have job fairs. I want to do a plug for our upcoming job fair. It's going to be May 30th from 10 to 2 at the Crawford County Conference Center, located at 640 Highway 128, and it's in Roberta. And again, our number is 478-953-4771. Please do reach out to us. We'd love to come and see how we can help your business.
That's outstanding. That's very outstanding. And I can help promote that job fair. Mr. Stillings or Steve, is there any other additional information that you would like to bring? I don't think we can overemphasize the fact that irrespective of your scenario, your position, your condition, your economic status, irrespective of those things, then this is a resource that's truly committed
Yes.
and obligated, really, to try to help the community, help people find jobs. It's a good feeling, to sign the back of the check.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, the one thing Alex, also that people don't realize our funding comes from government resources. So we can only use those funds to really help those folks in the community. We can't use them for a lot of other things, advertising, things of that nature. So we would love for you to basically allow us to be on your website, or allow us to be in the black pages at pro bono, because I know you really want to give back and make a
Hey,
difference in
Darrell,
the community as
no, he
well.
ain't. Darrell, in front of God and everybody, man. No, he ain't.
I sure appreciate that.
About pro bono. The only bono I know is Tony Bono, you know.
We appreciate that.
Darrell, no, he didn't, man.
We,
Well, I help in any way that I can. I have done that.
We all here. That like you said, we are here to serve the community. Like you said,
Yes.
that's our
That's
mission.
the main thing.
You know, our mission is to put people in the workforce.
Yes.
And if you know, every dime we get, it contributes to putting people in the workforce. So
I understand.
obviously that's what we want to do. And if we can ever be an assistance to you, you know, we're here for you also.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, if I do this promotion pro bono, I'm gonna think of a lot of ways y'all can assist. That's for sure.
But you already doing it by having us on the show, so we want to thank you for that,
I know
and
that.
allowing us to basically talk about the
And-
Middle Georgia
And
Consortium.
I'm so
and
glad
what
to
we
do it. But on a serious note, you know, I mean, if in fact, and that's what I tell people all the time, that irrespective of your situation, whatever you're going through, there are resources available in this community, in most instances free. It could be a health situation. They got free health resources. They got free educational resources, free employment resources. That's why I say excuses come out of trash can.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
so for those of us who are out there and who need some help in any area, then it just behooves us, you know, to pick out those resources. But if you need anything relative to employment or advancement or jobs, or if you're an entrepreneur, if you need some business, some employee help,
Yes.
then it behooves you to reach out to the Middle Georgia Consortium. Darrell, I'm gonna let you assume the responsibility of wrapping this interview up and mentioning anything you want to mention and calling on either one of your cohorts to kind of get us out of here. But let's not leave without again telling everybody how to get in touch with you all.
Well, first of all, once again, our phone number is 478-953-4771. And, you know, and all our touch points, all the Central Georgia Technical College, all the locations. If you want our resource, you go to any of those colleges and you'll find a WRA representative at the college that serves you. All the departments of labor here in our region, once again, you can go to any of those offices and someone will be there to serve you. And we have our partners that's also located at those locations also. So if we can't serve you, we definitely put you in touch with someone who can service you. Mr. Allen.
I see a nice quote by Ida B. Wells. The way to right wrongs is to turn the light of truth upon them. So, you know, we really want to, in all sincerity, thank you for the work you do, Mr. Habersham, because you do shine a light on the positive things in our community, and it's an inspiration to young people. So if you're listening, young people, take hold of this information and act on it. Don't just listen and let it go past you. So thank y'all so much.
Well, at least you did better than Steve. You know, they come up with no words like pro bono. You got it. Your time, Steve.
Well, we just want to be sure that the folks that are listening to your broadcast, and there are a lot of folks out there, they're there. You say the aunts and the uncles and the grandmothers and the great grandmothers. Don't let little Junior, a little Sheila, whatever, sit at home saying they can't go find a job. Steer them to us and let us help them provide that training, that education, and to help them be productive citizens in our community, because they just need a little encouragement. And sometimes they can get discouraged out there being around the wrong people. Birds of a feather do flock together. Sometimes we got to get them out of that flock that they've been in and to get around some positive people to help them move their life forward.
That's so outstanding. You all play such an important role because our community has a lot of things going for it.
Mhm.
you know, our location, our water, our interstate system. I mean, it's the whole of our colleges and universities. So, I mean, you know, it's abounding
Yes.
with opportunities and resources. So it's
Yep,
no
no,
excuse.
that's
It's
what we
no
do. We connect talent and opportunity. So if you got a talent, we'll provide you the opportunity to use that talent.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is a call to action. I'm your host, Alex Habersham, having interviewed Mr. Darrell Stillings, the Executive Director of the Middle Georgia Consortium, Mr. Steve Williams, who is the Chairman of the Board, and Mr. Paul Allen, who's the Outreach Coordinator for Businesses. That ain't his formal title, but that says what he does.
Yes.
And on a serious note, I really appreciate what you all are doing for the community. I really appreciate your efforts to try to get this information out to the community because, like I said, every time somebody else gets a job, every time somebody else gets a paycheck, then everybody benefits, sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly. But the more people are working, the better off our community is, and the better the quality of life
Yes.
is for all of us because a rising tide raises the whole ship. I want to thank you guys for everything that you do. If I can help you other than pro bono, you know, give me a call and I will be glad to do it.
Uh,
This is a call to action. I'm your host, Alex Habersham. Have a great day.
www.makingblackpages.com.
I got good news. There's a media source in the community that can keep you well informed of the educational, economic, political, civic, social, and spiritual happenings in the community. And that resource is the Macon Middle Georgia Black Pages. You know, I started this about 32 years ago because I wanted to engage myself in an economic activity that would influence the community. So I started the Black Pages in an effort to advertise and promote and list African American businesses throughout the community with community and corporate support. And what ties to the quality of life is money. So what we try to do is try to uplift the community economically, encouraging consumers to go and do business with these businesses. And what will happen, a rising tide raises the whole ship. It will improve the entire community. Download our app by going to www.maconblackpages.com.